Madan, hi and welcome to Goa.
Hi Fred, great to see you again after all these years. Cheers.
I'm sorry about the noisy situation because the Lusophonia games are in the background. But tell us about the music work you're doing now.
Yeah, some of my work is in music journalism. I write for magazines in India and abroad. I write for Indie Earth, which is
For
Indie Earth. Indie Earth is a music company, music service, event management company, etc., which focuses on independent music. I also write for Jazzwality, which is in Indonesia, the jazz capital of Asia, and for World Music Central, based in the US, covering world music around the world. In Bangalore, I also do work with Radio Wala. Radio Wala is an internet streaming
Radio
station.
Wala dot?
RadioWala.in, like Chai Wala, Radio
Okay.
Wala.
Okay.
So we take music from India, various other parts of the world, copyright free, license free, and play it on the internet for audiences in India and around the world by genre, by language, by different kinds of talk show themes and so on. So what I see happening in this world of music is very interesting. Two industries have been disrupted majorly by the internet and mobile. One is news. We've seen the rise of citizen bloggers, citizen journalism, citizen media around the world, and these are completely disrupting the model of journalism and
A little bit louder if you don't mind.
And these are completely disrupting the models of journalism and mainstream media around the world. And the second big force we're seeing now is in music. We're seeing music labels being decimated by the internet and mobile model of distribution. And we are seeing some push and pull forces over here. The internet makes people want things for free on broadband connections, but mobile makes you want to pay for airtime, pay for bandwidth, etc. So there's a very interesting business model that are emerging, both in the online world and for me, most interestingly, blending the online with the offline world.
So what do you all do exactly here?
Yeah. One thing we do is we go to music venues, for instance, in Bangalore. Whenever they have live music about Indian artists, fusion, jazz, etc., we plug them straight into the internet and stream it to a worldwide audience. The second thing we do is we go around picking up copyright-free music, license-free music from artists around the world and play it on the internet so that people can hear this kind of music, learn about these artists, etc. And these are subsidized through ads or through subscription or through sponsorship.
So in a word, you're giving the artist an audience and you're giving the audience the music.
Yeah, that's right. We work at both ends of the spectrum. We also add venues in the middle. So we work for three people: the fans, the music fans, the music artists, and the venues. So these days, live music is becoming extremely popular. Now that people see so much music on the internet, they want to know, I downloaded this music of so-and-so artist, I'll pay so much to go and see this person playing live. So now musicians have come up with a very interesting model. They promote through the internet almost for free, but they pay, they charge people a lot when they pay live. Or they play free for sometimes and pay higher fee for sometimes. This is called a freemium model. So we do a lot of work using the freemium model. Take some content for free, and for the rest of the content, we charge a premium or we subsidize it through ads and sponsors.
Are musicians willing to pay? Do they realize that they are somehow getting something from playing and sharing for free at times?
Yeah, absolutely. One challenge is we're living in an age of attention shortage. There's so much information overload, music overload, hundreds of strikes with streaming music, FM stations on the internet, etc. So it's a battle for artists now to connect with the audiences, both within the country and abroad. So they're willing to give some things away for free as long as it is curated well, as long as it is packaged well in the form of a show, a program, etc. So we're seeing the rebirth of radio now through the internet, because if you want to just surf and get content for free, it's an ocean out there. But if you go to experts and people who know the music and ask them what's the good music out there that's free on the internet, then you get a very good deal. So musicians are now gravitating towards these internet radio stations, internet DJs.
How many of these are there in India? How many internet stations?
In India, at least a handful, at least a dozen big ones,
Like
smaller ones. But all the big music labels have some kind of a streaming radio curated thing on their own. But
A little bit louder.
Yeah, all the big labels like Saregama, etc., are doing some kind of streaming on their own. There's also Ghana, Ghana.com. These are all sites which do stuff on the internet. There's also another company in Bangalore called, I forget the name now, but they do music apps. So they have an app for free classical music. So they go to all the second tier Indian classical music musicians who don't get airplay on the big TV shows, who don't have big music labels behind them, but they're superbly talented. So they play for this channel, and which goes through Android apps, iPhone apps, etc. So it's called Twang, Twaang, Twang with a double A. So Twang takes artists and puts them on mobile apps through streaming for different kinds of mobile devices and OSs. So we're saying this is a very good interesting model.
And what else? What are the other internet
We will
music?
see a very interesting trend coming up in collaboration platforms. So currently there's a lot of work happening in intent to collaborate, which is I'm coming to Goa, I'm coming to Bangalore, I play jazz, saxophone, I play African percussion. Who can I play with when I come to India?
So what are these platforms like?
Yeah,
Which
so
ones?
these platforms, these happen generally through the internet, through Facebook,
Okay.
through MySpaces of the world, through informal networks, through emails, Twitter, those kinds of things. But now there's a good space opening up for a formal collaboration platform to actually collaborate online. So you can say I'm a drummer and I have free time Saturday from 6 to 8. I live in Malaysia. I want to play with sitarist, vocalist from country ABC. Who's available to come at this time? Let's all jam together. That kind of stuff is picking up now because broadband connectivity is increasing in different parts of the world in a very affordable manner.
I see. So, in terms of a long-term solution, in terms of getting more musicians across to the audiences, more audiences to get their music, what do you see as a best thing that could work in a country like India, where you have so much talent but so much resource shortage also?
I think there has to be a bit of a learning curve, a growing curve, a growth curve for both artists and the techie digital media crowd. For instance, many musicians will say, look man, I just want to play guitar. I don't want to spend 6 hours a day doing Facebook, tweeting, YouTube, all that stuff. I just want to play. Will someone help me do all this stuff on social media? So here's a huge space now, especially for the young audience, our young app developers, designers, etc., to get into the act and work with musicians to promote their work, to connect with them, to collaborate with them, etc. I know so many talented musicians who could care less about social media, but they know that this is the way of the future. And there are so many other people who know social media but can't play music. So there's a great way of bringing both of these people together. Bring the digital creativity crowd together with the music creativity crowd. So these two kinds of different creativities, when they come together, we shall see very interesting synergies emerge.
And do you think that the Indian media is doing enough for its musical talent, or there's much more that we should be doing?
No, not at all. I think the Indian music industry is just not doing enough to meet the talent needs of India. Both Indian folk music and contemporary pop and classical and fusion is just a phenomenal size industry. We don't even have venues big enough to accommodate them, let alone labels. The internet is the only channel which is big enough like an ocean to absorb all these artists from all across India, who are doing a great job not just of preserving Indian folk music, but also fusing it, making it more contemporary with different kinds of stuff.
You were involved with World Space. Can you tell us a little bit of your experience?
For 2 years, I was an RJ in the channel called Moksha on WordSpace, which was on wellness, life, spirituality, fusion, etc.
Run out from Bangalore.
From Bangalore, yeah. I was based in Bangalore, and this was a 2-hour program every week on Indian fusion music, the new sort of music coming from India. So this is not just folk, but folk interpreted through modern instruments, contemporary styles, etc. And this would draw people to the folk roots. So if you see a very catchy folk rock fusion kind of a song, many people would say, oh, where did this come from? Oh, it's folk music. Let me go and find some more about folk music. So this is a new way for people to get into folk music and also explore their own creativities. So this was absolutely phenomenal that was happening across in festivals and venues across India, other parts of the world. And I would travel to these places, interview artists, bring their CDs, play them on the radio, get their downloads, play them on the air, etc. So unfortunately, WordSpace closed down for a number of reasons connected with licensing and the business model. It was a 90s kind of a business model. But now that same model is coming alive through other companies like Radio Wala, like Timber, etc., which is internet streaming, good for the user sitting at home, but also when you go to a place like Cafe Coffee Day, try and think where did the music come from. It's very well curated. It comes from companies like Radio Wala, like Timber, like Spot Radio, etc. That's called B2B2C radio. So the music company makes music packages for another company who then plays it for the audience physically located in different venues.
You access it via the net. You access it via the net.
You hear it only when you go to places like
Yeah,
Cafe Coffee Day.
but Cafe Coffee Day accesses it via the net.
The access to the internet. So the internet is not the channel to distribute music across India to institutions across the planet for that matter, to play to other institutional members. Restaurants are doing this, coffee chains are doing this, malls are doing this, theatres are doing this, bookstores are doing this. You can subscribe to the internet for curated radio content for different kinds of audiences.
And what's your take on the Western music scene in India today?
I think a lot of the stuff is focusing on rock, which is okay. It's got a big youth connection, etc. But I see now rock building bridges with Indian music also. Like Carnatic rock is very popular now in Chennai, Bangalore, etc. In Delhi, you get a lot of Hindi rock bands. So I think it's okay. It's opening up new kinds of artistic creativity, etc. The Western angle also allows Indian musicians to reach to a global audience. So if you can play tabla along with somebody else on the bass guitar and drums, etc., you will get noticed by bands and venues across Europe, across the US, across Latin America, etc. So it gives you access to a global idiom of music through Western instruments, etc. So I think for me the most interesting part personally is this fusion, this reinvention, rebirth, respinning of Indian music through Western instruments, contemporary forms, electronica, and so on and so forth.
Last question. Tell us something about yourself. There's a lot to say, I know.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Madan Rao. Listen to my radio show on radiowala.in. It's called All That Jazz. It covers mainstream and world jazz, etc. And I think in a previous life I was a Goan.
But I mean, you're cheating us on that, not because of the last statement, but I think you've not told us about yourself. You're an IITian, a techie.
Yes, thank you. I would describe myself as a writer who drifted into technology, or sometimes as a techie who drifted into writing.
From the very early days. From the very early days. 19.
From my school days, I used to write in local magazines.
That is which?
In Loyola High School in Pune. I grew up in Pune. Then I went
Which years?
I graduated in 79. I leave it at that.
I see.
69 to 79. I was in Pune in Loyola High School. Then I went to IIT Bombay till 1985. Then I went to the US. I worked in Brazil, Italy, Singapore, Sweden. Then eventually came back to.
Wow.
So I think India is the best place on the planet to be in, but it helps to have one foot in India and the other foot all over the world. So
Cool.
to be a global Indian.
And a digital nomad.
And a digital nomad. So if you ask me who I am a global Indian. I'm a hardcore Desi at roots, but I've seen the world and I see how India can share with the world and how the world can share with India.
Thanks so much, and apologies for the noise in the background.
No, it's great music background. It's a perfect venue. This is the backdrop of the Lusophony Games of 2014 in Goa.
Thank
so
you.
We're hearing a Brazilian soundtrack, a Mozambican soundtrack, along with Indian commentary.